Okay, my organ, it's a lung. Okay, I'm going to start with a brief definition of the lung, and then I will go to the physiology definition of the lung, and then I'll explain what's a lung, what's the name of the lung tissue, and what's the function of the lung, and what's the most common cancer in nature for the lung, and what's symptoms for disease for the lung. And let's start it. Okay, the brief definitions, it's that the lung is an essential respiration organ in all air-breathing animals, including the most tetrapods. Okay, in this slide, I will just define the lung according to the anatomy and the physiology definitions. The lung are the pair of spongy air-filled organ located on either side of the chest or thorax. The trachea windpipe conduct inhaled air into the lung through its tubular branches called bronchi. The bronchi then divided into smaller and smaller branches, bronchioles, finally becoming microscopic. And here, what's the name of the lung tissues? This is already provided in my questions, is a pleura. The lungs are covered by the thin tissue layer called pleura. The same kind of the thin tissues lines the inside of the chest cavity. A thin layer of the fluid acts as a lubricant, allowing the lung to slip smoothly as they expand and contract with each breath. The main function of the lung, which is exchange gases, which is try just to uh, take this CO2 from our body and try to get O2, which is gas exchange, or which is get oxygen. So the main job of the lungs and the respiratory system is to move fresh air into and get the waste gases, which is the CO2, out of the body, and process called respiration. And then after that, I will explain the two process of respiration, which is the internal and external. Okay, in this slide, I will try to explain the two process of respiration, which is the internal and the external. The internal or cellular respiration is a process by which the glucose or the small molecules are oxygenated to produce energy. This requires oxygen and generate carbon dioxide. And this picture is also explained about the aerobic. How can be anaerobic and aerobic? One of them needs oxygen and one of them doesn't. One of them need ATP and one of them doesn't need ATP. ATP that means does need energy. External respiration is breathing, involves simply the stage of taking oxygen from air and returning carbon dioxide to it. Okay, as we did that before in our presentation, so the lung lymphatic drainage. So start with the deep pulmonary superficials and then go to the brachiopulmonary hilar nodes and then go to the tracheobronchial nodes or the superior inferior cranial and then go to the paratracheal nodes and then from the paratracheal nodes go to the promediastinal lymph trunk and the left go to the thoracic duct and the right go to the right lymphatic duct and then go back to the venous system or venous angles. And this picture is also illustrate everything I said today. Okay, warning sign of the lung disease. It can be cough and such as now we have a pneumonitis, we have that's a term for lung disease, and we have COVID-19, we just have it now. So cough that will not go away, shortness of breath, and any of these can be sign of the lung disease. The most common lung disease is asthma, is a chronic lung disease characterized by an inflammation of the bronchi and bronchioles. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is a term used for both emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Here is the statistic of lung cancer in the United States. That's it's 13% of new cancer that begin in the lung, and 1% lung cancer is top causes of the cancer death in the U.S. and 228,000 number of the U.S. adult diagnosed each year, and 60% 5 years survival rate of the early non-small cells lung cancer. And the last one was the 80% of the lung cancer death caused by smoking, which is it's very high statistic over here. So here's some images of the lung cancer. If we see over here, this is abnormal, supposed to be all over the black, not like that. And if we see over here too, there is a white things over here that may cause cancer too. This slide I will just present the most common form of the lung cancer in the United States is adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma is the most common lung cancer in the United States.